Man, I miss the 2000s anime, watching things like this instead of studying for my chemistry exam in high school. Wait, is that why I failed? But I still miss it. Wait a minute, I can just watch any of them right now. I have free will. I feel like I've done this bit before. But man, if only there was a video game that combined early anime tropes with vampires. Yeah, it's close, but why not set in Akihabara?
Your adoration is always welcome.
Oh my god! She's so rich! Oh, I can't believe it! Rinchan, I love you! So cute!
Now that's more like it. You ever just see a game and think, why did they make this? Well, we all know why. Look, it was in my anime weeb phase, okay? Yes, so I played this on the Vita back in the day, and kinda thought it was good. Not because of the main mechanic where vampires roam the streets of Akihabara, the proclaimed weeb haven of Japan. Well, not now, it's kinda losing the charm. But to stop the vampires, you must remove clothing so that they feel the sun's full UV rays and die. Also, it has a maid from Finland.
Hunters on the prowl.
Raikkonen?
Any more career goals you want to hit?
Retirement.
Turns out this, removing clothing thing, I can say that without the STRIP, right?
Yes, on this network you can.
Isn't the first game in the series. Wait, why is it even called Akiba's Trip? You're implying that there's a character named Akiba and they're having a trip.
Pretty clever!
Made by Acquire Games, who were then acquired by Katakawa after being acquired by Gung Ho Entertainment, and they really didn't think that name through. You may know them for the Tenchu series, Way of the Samurai, and now helped on Octopath Traveler and made Mario and Luigi Brothership, and the visual novel about hookers. You think Nintendo knew of their history before this? In 2011, they made Akiba's Trip on the PSP, where a remake was released worldwide 10 years later, and then a free-to-play smartphone game, Gree, which uses QTE as the combat, in 2012. It was discontinued the same year. So then the next year, bro, they were fiending to make these games back to back. They released the sequel called 2 in Japan, but localized here as it was the first game we got in 2014. Undead and Undressed. Both statements very accurate.
You didn't have to tear my clothes off, you know.
It was released in Japan on the PS3, Vita, and PS4, with Xseed Games localizing it for America in the PlayStation 3, Vita, PS4, and then PC release a year after, and NIS America localized it for Europe. Wait, but the names, huh? To be fair, the localization in my opinion is really good, as the main concept of the game is set entirely in the city of Akihabara, Japan, which if you didn't know, it's like a weeb paradise. You will see it referenced in many weeb adjacent media. Otaku and nerds will flock to it, as it has everything from maid cafes, cosplay, figurine stores, to stores that sell obscure PC parts from the 90s and 80s, where nowadays it's losing that charm, like the iconic Sega building getting removed, and other places like Ikebukuro feeling more weeb. But regardless, years ago, Akiba was seen as the main otaku city where people who love anime would love the whole place. And this game makes it abundantly clear it is set in 2012-2013 Akihabara. So this is how it looked back then, with very odd descriptions of the NPCs, but Xseed kept all of that in, all of these names and real buildings that you could see, getting the licenses and all. Like a thing that happens there in real life is that people will hand you flyers to visit their store. And yeah, you can see that in-game too, and then you will actually see the flyers the stores used in all their JPEG glory. I even kept the first maid cafe flyer I got there because, I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic in a way. This is the advertising they do. I haven't gone to one, I was just handed this. Okay, I'm definitely not a recovering weeaboo. Anywho, this game was set to feature Akihabara in all its glory. A lot of the game's dialogue and story glazes up the city, and you'll meet all kinds of people, side quests that showcase all aspects of weeb life, like buying dojins, figurines, seeing cosplays, finding really old computer parts, and then you can enter these actual stores that do exist over there. It's like, if you couldn't go to Japan back then, this was an amazing concept for a game in 2013. A way to experience the city that you have heard about in all those media. Hopefully this explains to any viewer who isn't so deep into the culture. Think of it like sports terms. Yeah, I know all of you love that. It's like you see a stadium where your team plays and they're on TV every year, and you have all this culture surrounding it with drinking beer with overweight British men, but you've never visited the UK. Well, this game is like if it was set in that city and you got to walk around the stadium during a game, so from your home, you could experience the whole culture like that thing you'd seen in real life. And it was as accurate as possible to this incredibly hyper-specific niche. And if you ignore the combat, this was an incredibly cool and kawaii game.
Pardon, I can't speak English.
While also being a game that plays into that 2000s anime tropes. You know, harem visual novels and anime, you've definitely seen one of those in your life. It is everywhere in this game, from all the references and tropes, like you having a sister that you head pat, awkward older female character, to then the quiet type character with bluish hair, her sister Tsundere, and yes, a maid from Finland! It would release to mixed reviews. Surprisingly, a lot of them seem to not actually care about the content of the combat. Whoa! Because I think on the Vita it was known as the Weeb Machine. This was just one of those many games that were coming out of the console at the time. Oh, it's just one of those games. But then it stood out because it has a full English dub, like it wasn't a low effort localization. But most complaints was that it was just missing some things and not running the best on the Vita. And yeah, playing this PS4 version now on my PS5, oh yeah, those horrid loading times are long fixed. But everything else is the exact same. Yes, this car is car. And NPCs fading into blobs with a draw distance, and the models themselves being very blob-like. Also, yes, if you haven't noticed, the art style is drawn by the artist of that series, and I don't think they've drawn for many games outside of that, and now they just seem to be critiquing student artist works on YouTube. Incredibly amusing is that I actually remember not liking this art style all the way back then, because it didn't look like the anime I was watching at that time. To me, this felt low budget, which I know is insane. Okay, stop with the booze. Their art is very iconic in the space, and yes, it is the same. You can't hide all your tells from me. I can see you with the flesh tooth fang and the squiggly mouth line. But yeah, it sold okay-ish for it to get a PC mobile new game in 2016. Wow, they're really trying to force this mobile stripping thing. It was discontinued a year later. I'm sensing a pattern here. Then the latest game so far being Akiba's Beat in 2017. And well,
I'm going to warn you right now. I hate this game. I legitimately think this is one of the worst games I've played this year.
Funnily enough, I also got an anime, as yeah, all these games are not connected. They each have new characters with the same general structure of clothes removal. This was even actually made as Studio Gonzo's 25th celebration anime. You know, a studio that you definitely have watched an anime from before, with it turning out to be a very 6 out of 10 show, with Rie Takahashi voicing a main character, and it has a dub? What?
Holy crap, this kid is good!
Oh my god, this anime is insane.
Oh, I've seen this video before! Natsuko's comeback here is legendary! Just call me Adi, so we're friends here, right?
Whoa, slow down! So I guess Studio Gonzo owns this anime as well, the voice acting one, which I think was actually Rie Takahashi's first voicing role, which I remember watching live and thinking, wow, they are really promoting this new actress. And then it was so crazy that she got to do so many big roles after this. I knew this plushie was something from my memory.
Oh, okay. Hi, welcome to Carl's!
Now keep in mind this second game is the fan favorite. It improves a lot over the first game, and Western fans, it was their first introduction to the series. So much so that this game just 2 years ago, yes, 10 years after the launch, it got new DLC in a director's cut. Now on more consoles with a brand new route said to be the actual true ending of the game. So yeah, it's not a dead franchise. As far as I know, Acquire could just make more, because as you see, well, there is a reason why it is so well regarded. Because you would get things like this. Make sure you remember to insert funny reviews someone made of it when you're editing. Wow, that is sure funny / insightful. So why is this game so beloved in the first place? Well, it's like the only game to tackle this incredibly small niche, where you of course have many games that have you running around a city, but then you also have many more games running around a Japanese city, where you beat up people that you run into, and even getting naked during all that. But yeah, I cannot stress this enough. It holds a nostalgic look, because if you watch a lot of 2000s anime a lot, this played into every trope so accurately, it was literally, without hyperbole, like
one of my Japanese enemies.
and all of this on your Vita back in ye old days when rent was maybe more affordable in your location, I don't know. But you joined the Freedom Fighters, a group who do vigilante stuff, protecting Akihabara from things like, a guy taking upskirt photos of cosplayers. What the heck? Why is he swinging a 50 cal? You run through the real streets, the real train station. You do side quests using a smartphone, and you can customize the wallpapers. With the general story is that you have to stop these vampires quotation marks by stripping them, which involves beat 'em up gameplay, and it's not very good. I mean, by today's standards, but it's okay. It works in a janky way, with your top and bottom having health as well as a helmet that you can equip. And yes, it has a crazy amount of customization I'll get to later, but your goal is to use your weapon, which, yes, okay, there's an insane amount to pick from, like swords, fans, to literal keyboards or body pillows, to then you damage the enemy's clothing, with triangle to attack the head, circle for body, and X for the legs. And then you'll hold that same button down to grab that part of the clothing. And if it's damaged enough, you perform a finisher strip. And if you have enough people damaged in a group, you can then continue the chain, pressing the right buttons to instantly teleport to them and break the clothing. But if it's not damaged enough, you'll then get this tug of war animation where you gotta button mash the same button to weaken it. It really will hurt your hands after a while, and the best strategy is to weaken everyone as much as possible to then get rid of them in one go. And when all is revealed, they either run away if they're human or die if they're the vampires quotation marks. And yeah, while you may look at all this and think it's an arsenal game, I was just zoned out when I was doing this, as yeah, I guess I don't find this exciting. On the other hand, this game lets everyone be stripped. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a boss, your clothes can be gone.
The 21st century, I'm an equal opportunity stripper!
But since it has these low poly models, for me, this was never the aim of the game. Honestly, it was just more amusing watching these animations play out. And turns out this game is actually a harem game. Surprise? Wow, you get surprised pretty easily, huh? Where it tells a story, but depending on your choices, it changes the ending of the game. And does it do all this well? Let's just say there's hundreds of clothing models in the game for every character to wear. There's hundreds of weapon models. You have a city matching the exact real-life details to the real city. I don't think writing was at the forefront of this game's development time.
What he is an idiot. A colossal freaking idiot.
So starting up, you can see what I mean when they really are taking this seriously.
Hired goon.
And yeah, with an actual recording block on the anime cutscene, probably due to the licensed song and not because of its actual content, we can start where our options for hard mode is called Gamer. And I'm not a gamer, so I ain't pick at that. And you can now set up the characters to look as how you want to, because you can name yourself, dress up, with not many options now, but that will change later on. And yes, you can also change up the other characters' clothing here, like your sister. I haven't even started the game. And you can tell they were really impressed that they have so many clothing models for you to use. And so you start where...
Slow down!
It summarizes what Akihabara is as you, the weeb, wake up, strapped down by a dude. Well, getting right into it, huh? Yeah, he signed up for a job that was to pay you in rare figurines. But now this guy has turned you into a synthester, which are the vampires I mentioned before. It's like you become a functional zombie of sorts that is weak to sunlight, and it is all due to our attachment of physical desires. You know, rare anime figurines. Because of that, we have become a strong candidate to become a powerful synthester.
There is a catch, however. They have a certain weakness to the light of the sun. It's their Achilles heel. You could almost think of them as man-made vampires, though without the unfortunate thirst for blood, of course. As compensation, the organization agrees to remit rare and valuable character goods, figurines, and books per the signees' wishes. Really, they're rather shady terms. It's a wonder you'd ever endorse such a document.
So he's like, okay, now run along, go free, and absorb the life force of all the people in Akiba. But we go, no, give me my damn figurines! And because of the funny dialogue options, I got a game over.
You two, get him out of here. Take him somewhere the sun shines.
Oh, believe me, this isn't the funniest game over. And so, since you didn't have a save, you gotta redo that setup all again. I hope you didn't make too many customizations to your character's clothing. So what's meant to happen is that you get
There's an
saved.
intruder in the building right now.
An intruder? What happened to the guards?
Where we fight our way out and run off with Shizuku, but we took a big hit. And, kind of dying. So,
I'm going to share some of my blood with you.
hey, wait, I thought we weren't vampires. Well, I guess she kinda is. For some reason, she gives us her blood to save our life, making us her familiar. So now we are a synthester and a vampire's familiar.
I could swear I just sensed a wicked notion from you.
So she saves our life and says her goal
I
is
am
to
a
slay
hunter.
these synthesters.
It is my duty to slay these monsters.
You know, I wonder who voices her. No way, I did that intro as a joke! And Studio Gonzo animated the show too, I didn't know this!
Professor Tejasvi Latu. Actually, my full legal name is Tejasvi Naja Warden Bongo Bangle Raja Raja.
So you're telling me, this year, I just happened to watch two shows that were animated by Studio Gonzo that both feature less clothing, both have vampires, and both have Indian stereotypes?
Curry originally comes from. We only have the Tamil word curry, which means nothing more than just sauce. And
She's really fired up about making curry, isn't she?
So at this shrine, which is just a photo the devs took, we suggest to hide out at Mogra, the Akiba Freedom Fighters base, because apparently we do have a backstory with them, and so you're to run there. But first, let's check out email. God damn, I never win these auctions. And so, this is what walking is like in Akihabara in real life. Isn't it crazy how idolized Japan is that you can just literally film walking on a street and get millions of views? And I'm doing it right now, and I haven't got more subscribers. What the heck is this show? But everything is accurate to Akiba as it was in 2012, with some shops that you can enter, like a maid cafe. These shops are 2D images with a 3D character, or sometimes 2D character, and this is where you'll buy weapons and clothing, and yes, they have some stats, and also some growth items. But then walking around, I guess you'll see these randomized NPCs with name tags detailing what class they are, like school kid, otaku, Jane Doe, or a foreign tourist. And yeah, you also have a camera that you can take in the vibes. Hilariously, you can't actually change her clothing in-game now because you barely know her. But then, my mind was blown even more. Now add some more Vine boom effects. You won't believe how blown it was. As you can change how the entire game looks, no, you don't understand. You can have presets where you can add more bloom, washed out, or a retro filter. You know, just make everything green. Or you can change the skybox's color, or even how thick and colorful the lines are for all the models in the world. Oh, that's not the end of the customization options, as I'll show later, but you can see why. They were putting a lot of effort into letting you explore this town and making the experience be however you want it to be. I mean, you also have a Twitter clone where over the course of the game, you will see the same regular users argue about inane weeaboo things. and they kind of become a character themselves later on. Oh my god, is that Shinji? So after stripping some guys, we find our sister.
Broski, you're alive. I thought maybe somebody chipped you off somewhere. Stare.
If you don't know your otaku tropes, the sister character will do this stare in Japanese, but say the word out loud in Japanese. But they localized it, and it's so hilarious hearing this in English.
I'm happy now. Thanks, protagonist.
So turns out we just disappeared for 3 days due to us applying for that figurine job, and now I gotta explain what happened to the freedom fighters. So we head to Mogra, run by Pops, where we see the twins Kaito and Yuto, Toko the childhood friend, and the Finland maid Katie.
I'm Kati Raikkonen. I blew on in from Finland to Japan so I could see and do its cool biz deculture.
I believe what she's trying to say is that she flew here from Finland to study the cool culture of Japan.
Feel free to just call me Pops. Everybody else around here does. But you're welcome to call me Dear Sweet Old Man if you prefer.
He's got a face fit for the FBI's most wanted list, doesn't he?
Hey.
But he's a good guy. Don't worry.
So Shizuku doesn't have a cell phone and seems to have run away from home. It's very sus, as now they all say you should practice fighting to combat this rising sinister threat. And depending on who you pick to accompany you, they will play this sound.
All right.
This means that character got some points and you're leaning towards her ending. Now, this is a retro gaming bar, and apart from the real world posters you see around, you also have these screens where the game will play actual real ads of real games that existed, like Spike Chunsoft's ad for the Conception 2 game. It's right here for you to watch in its entirety, which is crazy, right? A rival company's game just here to market to you because it's so much more authentic than them just advertising their own games. Hopefully, you can see by now how insane this game was to exist in 2013, to be that detailed and authentic, showcasing a Japanese city with as much otaku culture as possible. Including picking up all these flyers. Determined or not, those shops may be long dead. And to make the Weeb GTA clone even more apparent, you have police will actually get annoyed when you fight in the streets and try to arrest you. And then after he stripped my pants, I got fined and... Where are my pants? And then a Yakuza guy removes my shirt and I died.
My body! What's happening?
And yes, that is the dub Shinji's voice actor too. Luckily, game overs in combat just respawn you right where you traveled, so yeah, even in story fights, there's no real penalty or anything like that. But what can be a game over is this. And I almost fell for it again 10 years later, no! So yeah, at the station, you can leave and pressing X twice, say someone did this on the Vita in 2015, I'm not naming names, you will leave Akiba behind and end the game. Yep, an actual ending. You just noped out of this whole scenario and quit, and you gotta restart all again. To be fair, it does have a very useful use later on. Yes, a lot of this game will become more apparent later on. But yeah, if you just walked up to here and pressed X twice and you're like, okay, then I'm actually gonna delete my save file. They did. And you gotta restart all over again. So here is a guy where you can buy all these DLC outfits that they added in, or rebuy your damaged clothing that you lost. But I am literally this broke that my money is in the negatives. No, my rare figurines. And yeah, a lot of the NPCs are pretty amusing.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. So we head to the arena where Antoinette will help us level up, where you fight 3 waves of enemies to practice your chain stripping. And yeah, these clothes that you removed, you can now wear yourself. And you can also change up how you walk. Yeah, you unlock walking stars from the characters, like here, I got the hermit one. And it changes your idle animation and walk cycle. Now do you understand how insane this game's gameplay is? Oh god, I have grave fears for this story's writing.
Oh hey, got your order right here. A whole family of beef bowls. 1, 2, and 3.
Guys, you know we serve food here too, right? Might be nice if you order from us every now and again, or at all.
God, you're such a pissant.
But Pops, this bar... Well, the coffee is delicious, but the food items are not so delicious.
My name is Shizuku Tokikaze. The freedom fighters have been a great help to me. It's nice to meet you.
I know who you are. I was eavesdropping from behind the bar counter. And it's nice-ish to meet you, too. We don't have to. Don't force it. Dealing with you 3D PD people drains my energy, so I'm going to go now. But there's something I want to discuss with you, Broccoli.
So now you can unlock side quests, which are like things to protect the towns from weirdos, or stop a girl who's taking her yaoi fantasy too far with real people. God, I need them to make a sequel to this game so bad to see how they will tackle modern anime fandom. So you got the sister, where you can upgrade your weapons with synthesis, basically feeding other weapons to make weapons stronger, or clothes to make clothes have more armor, and yeah, the strong weapons will help you break other enemies' clothes quicker. Also, every weapon falls into a category, like the quick ones or the heavy ones, and will have their own animations for each, so you should just pick whichever fighting style you like, or the funny looking weapon, and just keep leveling them up. What the hell? Estelle got a Nendo?
What the heck?
So now on main missions in between them, you get these patrol missions, where you just pick some character and go to an area to fight some people. You can, however, in other times, just take any girl with you. It doesn't affect their ending, but when you got these story missions, you have to bring the story mandated girl with you to that area, like here, Shizuku for us to get jumped by some suit people, as we stop the crazed BL fangirl. Oh, the power of yaoi.
If you know the proper term for them, well, how to put this delicately, you're clearly involved. Is that the best you could come up with? Don't be a discredit to your generation. You see, by pure chance, I happened to catch wind of some local gossip. Would you believe a strange boy-girl duo has been running around Akiba, tearing people's clothes off in broad daylight? Such perversion.
We're not perverts.
So this is Shion, a CEO at a pharmaceutical company, who is investigating the synthesis. And to show you they know their audience, you can hide the speech text UI or the sprite in these scenes if you want to take a screenshot of the background. You don't know how many JRPG games I wished for them to allow me to do this. So she's like, I want a synthesis to sample. So call me if you know of one.
I do look forward to meeting you both again. Particularly you, little boy. You're quite the handsome little devil.
Oh no. As we check in on Twitter, it actually is really funny seeing the same users on every thread every time. So Shion then appears at our bar saying, oh yeah, okay, I know you are one, and has made a phone app where you can take photos and it will tell you who are synthesizers in public, which I feel this feature doesn't get much use in the gameplay. As you can swap out your camera and taking pictures, the evil people will have these glitches on them. But I never found the need to actually take pictures, in public to fight these people outside of the story. It's very obvious when you're fighting characters for the story, they'll just approach you and want to fight. You don't have to pick out, oh, this person is suspicious, maybe they are evil, I gotta fight them. I guess if you want to farm some clothing from them, you can go around finding who you can fight, but in the story they will use this feature a lot. But on the other hand, Shizuku can actually send synthesis herself, which is very suspicious.
Among us.
So Shion says one of her idols at her drug company, yes, they hire idols to promote their drugs, Rin, is singing in public today, where Shizuku is like, leave me out of this mission, So you go with Toko, a character who I really wasn't liking that much. And yet I kept accidentally picking the answer she wanted. So you check your app with the crowd and find that there are evil people at Rin's concert. And it's funny, people are like, is this like a new performance thing on the street? They're just fighting and twirling and like, it isn't raising any flags that we're just doing this to people in public. So now you get the next main quest, but you also got some side quests. Yeah, you can't accept too many, and you also can't take too long to do them as they will expire after a while. A lot of them just give money, but there are a few important ones I'll point out later on, and yeah, any side quest the NPC usually will have a red icon indicating as such. So now you got Katie's quest shopping with her, and yeah, any CG you will get, you can equip as a phone wallpaper. So the game is gonna have you get one for each main girl at least. As we head back, this bearded guy is watching us and says that we both, oh Weird. Really? Both of us? Maybe he's never seen a Finnish girl.
Feel he may be important. But that's such a silly notion that I will simply toss it away.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's surely not the bad guy.
Guess there really is only so much our little group can do.
And we can't exactly go to the police with this either.
No kidding. We'd have no choice but to turn player character in if we did that, given his connection to everything.
Well, now I found a karaoke bar.
So adorable.
And then I decided to fight in the arena, where this game was turning out to be pretty hard. Enemy attacks do so much damage, and I couldn't find any healing items. As players of the game, I realized my mistake pretty soon. Just keep watching. But yeah, I was dying a lot. And so my strategy, especially with a helper, was to let them attack and take hits while I try not to die. But doing the arena, every rank will unlock a new fighting style. You know those funny animations in the minigame? Every rank you do in the arena, you get a new animation. And these were a huge reason I kept wanting to play, because they were just so hilarious, and it's kind of why I love this game. As this one feels very JoJo-esque. I cannot stress how much I was enjoying these animations with the low-budget models, you half-naked, whipping out all these cinema moves. Unfortunately, you cannot block the enemies grabbing you, so if you see your clothes with 0 health, you're pretty much gonna die when both clothing get grabbed. So Shizuku was running away after hearing more on Rin as we follow her and then meet Zenya Amo, the guy from the opening.
Be careful. He's much stronger than any of the others we fought.
Oh god, that's horrible. Even more harder? Well, it's like those JRPG type bosses where you just gotta survive for long enough against a super strong enemy and let the cutscene start.
Now, the time for fun and games has ended. Behold my true power! Who's there? Who? What? Rin? Why are you here?
I told you, didn't I? Not to involve yourself? Just know that if you get in my way, I won't hesitate to move you out of it by force.
Wait, Rin. I'm sorry. I'll tell you all about it when the time is right.
Oh, okay, take your time. Because we got arena fighting! Yeah, I was so in love with these animation styles, I wanted them all. And so I fought more and more, and for 30 minutes, I was struggling with 0 armor, not finding any healing items. Till then, I realized if you hold L1, you do a Michael Jackson pose, and your clothes heal. Bruh. Yeah, so I was once again making a game harder for myself when I didn't need it to be. This is like a streamer challenger mode run of the game, trying not to heal. Yeah, as you don't get any healing items because you can just heal at any time. If you hold L1, and after a few seconds, you just heal. Obviously, you gotta run away and not get hit during it, which is kinda hard as the enemies can be very aggressive. But yeah, that's how you win. And I only noticed this because when you press right on the D-pad, your ally goes into a defensive mode where they will actually try to run away and heal. And I was like, hey, why can't I do that? Be warned though, the enemy can also heal, but yeah, now this made the combat more manageable. But you still need some stronger weapons and clothing to survive not getting one shot. But yeah, now I was able to at least get some more techniques. Hey, wait a minute. Is that her? It actually is a 30-year-old lady trying to feel young again by taking up cosplays at the ripe old age of 30. You also got Romeo and Juliet in anime form. And then you have a side quest where an idol hates a fan so much that she'll beat them up. Like, the concept of these side quests are hilarious, but they usually just boil down to, you find this item or beat up some people. But I applaud how creative the writing is in replicating and riffing on otaku culture. So Shion is like, okay, I'm gonna have my whole company help you guys with drugs. But you pick Shizuku or Toko's option saying to train. Meanwhile, with the sister, I learned that I can talk to her and then these icons come up and you'll talk 3 times and then
You can do it. I believe in you.
Surely there isn't more hidden mechanics to this feature that I'll find out later in the game. So you fight Shizuku to learn a new move, which means stripping her clothes. Wow, I got a new wallpaper! And now you get a team up attack where this bar builds up over time and pressing up insta destroys the NPC you're aiming at and it'll stun everyone around them, which is so helpful a lot of the times because the enemies will Ultra Instinct dodge your attacks a lot, so stunning them helps keep them still. And the animations are really cool, and yes, you'll have one for every party character.
Don't you, I don't know, have work to do?
Isn't that what being a president's all about? Just kicking up your feet on your giant desk and letting other people do all the work?
Oh, I'd say I do a bit more than that. Why, only 6 hours ago, I was at a business conference in Sydney.
What the heck? I was just there too! Like 1 minute ago, because I live there. So you meet her second in command, Koma Sakaguchi, who is like, why are you running around with kids? You got a company to run! While I spent 30 more minutes trying to get new styles, yes, I was really addicted to these, I wanted them all. And it was so annoying because if Shizuku loses both clothing, she runs off, and you don't get her back for the 3 fights. So while fighting, you also gotta learn to watch your partner, seeing if their clothing will glow purple, meaning it's damaged, meaning the enemy can grab them. So you gotta then press defense mode so they'll run away and heal. It's kind of like a weird tactics game, which I love, you know, managing a character. And then I got a new style and unlocked a trophy. Oh, Kojima would have been proud. And yeah, collecting each clothing is actually ranking up your skills. Yes, you got experience with levels, as each clothing type has a skill attached to it, and the higher it is, the easier you can grab the clothing without it breaking. So you then, you can wear it or use it for your synthesis. Also, I love how the enemies in the arena have some little dialogue and their name, like these ones were lazy devs, they couldn't come up with names. Or this. Look, this isn't a first for this series, as I learned from the anime.
American presidential elections. The disbanding of pop idol groups.
Also, I have to point out, the battle music is really good, but then they have this other battle music where it just sounds like they added brown noise.
We fight.
Hi. Editor me, this song now has been stuck in my head all week. I hate it so much. Now, while I was role-playing as a businessman, I was super annoyed at this keyboard weapon, as holding the direction while moving, you'll also do some charged up attacks. And I kept accidentally doing this move where Weeb would crouch and just whack himself. The combat you can really feel is janky and not fluid to move around, as like half of the time, I would want to hold back on the stick to charge up an attack, but you need to be looking at the enemy. But as you can see, the timing was so off that I just kept turning back instead. So we fight Zenya again, where we win. 30 wins in the cutscene, but then round 2, and we get half his clothing off, and he runs away. So Shizuku is like, okay, can we talk seriously?
I would very much like this to be a serious discussion.
And she says how she is part of the Night Eaters, who can only have one familiar in their lifetime. And well, that's us, bucko. We're stuck with her till death do us part. And her job as a Night Eater is to hunt synthesizers. And she is truly sorry for having made us inhuman, that we can never be a normal human being again. And Shizuku tells the whole gang all this, and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess when you're in an anime town like this, these things don't really faze you. And then Toko's like, I'm your childhood friend, so have a talk with me. But then we stumble into Rin, who's running away from the farmer suits, so we have to fight them all. And Rin is like, watch out for Shion, the CEO. Something is suspicious about her. Oh, you don't say. But who cares about the story ramping up? It's time for the cosplay convention.
I am dressing as Pinkrism, the pink one, and Toko will be Ambrism, the yellow one.
Wait, Kati, what are you talking about? I never agreed to this.
And I would like for the honor of playing the blue magical girl, Sapphism, to fall on you, Shizuku.
What?
So yeah, we gotta study up on the source material, meaning watching all 48 episodes in one day.
I'd say this calls for a break, wouldn't you?
No, no, no! We must keep this tension building all the way to the last episode.
I'm fine to keep watching.
It's over. After 18 long hours, it's over. Whoa, Shizuku, are you seriously crying?
No matter how many times I watch, SP is still a super great show. Except for the last episode.
The way the SP girls live their lives, it deeply moved me. Except for the last episode.
I can't imagine watching this and not crying. Except during the last episode.
So they dress up, but then you gotta fight Synthesis on the street, and Shion is like, bro, why does Rin hate me? I'm not sus. But I do think someone in the pharmaceutical company is planning a coup against me, and maybe they're the ones researching into this Synthesis stuff and causing it. That's why you're fighting all these suit people. It's not me, I swear. Well, I can finally customize Shizuku and get me the businessman walk. Yeah, I'm very busy, okay? Well, Kaito says to help him buy some weeb things, and he literally uses the figurine as a weapon. Man, you just don't care about the resale value. As Rin calls us out to say that Shion's company and the evil organization that we met at the start, who turned us into a synthesizer with an injection, they are connected, as she has been snooping in on the company. While Xenia is like Super Saiyan or something. But then Rin comes in to save us, and he runs off. We take Rin back, and it turns out Rin is Shizuku's sister, and also a Night Eater.
You know, I actually called this one. Just wish I'd have said it out loud. It's like the kind of twist you see on TV. You've got the two sisters at odds, both dealing with some major crisis, and then some bad guy comes in, and they both have to fight him.
Really?
And so she joins the group.
Why on earth, of all people, would you make a boy like this your familiar?
Huh?
You can only enter into the blood contract once in your entire lifetime. You two are bound by fate now, forever. I mean, you're this elegant young lady, sis. Don't you think you should have chosen someone a little more presentable?
Hey, I'm earning big stocks here.
Excuse me, princess.
So Rin ran away from home and didn't want Shizuku to come follow her. But the way she did it made Shizuku think something bad happened to her. So here she is. He thinks this one ain't too bright.
Rin's what you might call a tsundere.
While Shion just appears out of nowhere again and goes, yeah, okay, I figured it out. There is a faction inside my company who wants me out. And that is the group who are injecting people to become synthesters. While on Twitter, as we fight Xenia. Hyper Xenia.
Allow me to spell it out for you in words you can understand then. You pathetic otaku aren't needed.
So we beat him up.
Eat this! I'm just unprepared. Don't think this means you've won!
They're at least fair to everyone, giving us wallpapers of everyone. So Xenia actually was an otaku and wanted to go further beyond and make Akiba only the place for the best of the best. Well, you're naked, bozo. So he dies. Yeah, dies. I don't see no body. He's long gone. Yes, that's foreshadowing. We're gonna see him again. So Shizuku says she is one of the last of her people and that bearded guy Soga is the leader. Most of them have given up on keeping their people alive, while Soga is trying some evil plan to save them. And their whole role in life was to hunt the synthesizers. But for 150 years, there hasn't been any of them in the world. So they just kind of retired from hunting. However, now they are suddenly appearing in Akiba, probably due to the company injecting people, and that could be connected to Soga's plan, as he had left the Night Eater village 150 years ago. As we go on patrol with Toko,
How do you even know what an Akiba freedom fighter is?
Because there's a price on your heads.
What?
I'm going to take my medicine too, so I can put everything I've got into this fight.
What the hell?
well, at least with new partners, we get new specials.
I have every confidence in my feet. Take this!
Come on, let's do this!
Okay.
And Shion is asking for your help, being pursued by the evil faction in her company. So we help her, and then he says Sakaguchi, that guy, was the one doing the synthester work and was trying to overthrow her. As Shion joins the team, Toko randomly goes, damn, I don't have one of those newfangled smartphones, and I love my Nokia. And so you gotta help her buy a new one, and I'm writing in my notes, wow, they're really forcing me to be with the character that I like the least. And it's funny because I unknowingly was already set into a route. Yep, all the choices I did, well, technically hers is the base one. If you haven't picked enough right options for the character you want by now, the game will default to Toko's route. And the routes still have the same general plot, but these scenes will drop some more of the characters among some other things.
Might as well christen the thing with your number, as a thank you for all your help today. No, I can ask everybody for those when we get back. I just want to store your contact info first. That's all.
Dude, she's laying it on a bit thick. So Rina's like, you're a human, Toko. You suck at defeating humans. Let's test your strength. So we fight Rin and win. And she's like, wow, you're better at this than Weebers. I don't know, you seem pretty bad at it too. Yeah, see, they even got the voice actors to say the Japanese words here, even though it means a completely different thing. And at this point, I finally realized, I'm in the Toko route. So now Shiona's like, okay, Rin and I will serve as bait for Sakaguchi to come out of hiding, and he does so, where he attacks with these two people, but we beat him up. And he says he only wanted to make the synthesizers to test out some new illness treatment. You know, he's a good pharmaceutical guy. But Shion says, nah, you just wanted the fame and clout. But then Soga appears saying, damn, bro, why are you naked? Oh, you're fired. And Soga says,
my ultimate goal is the town itself. I intend to turn Akiba into a perfect dark utopia.
The hell does that mean?
I've been using the synthesizers all this time to gather life energy, so I can create that dark utopia and turn Akihabara itself into a machine that gathers even more. Once I've done that, I'll be able to gather life energy from all over Japan, nay, from all over the world. And then the Night Eaters will finally take their rightful place. Our people will rise from the brink of extinction to the heights of glory.
All right.
So yeah, he wants Akiba to suck energy from people, giving the Night Eaters power, saving them from extinction. All because of the greed in Akiba. It's so crazy powerful. This greed will fuel the Night Eaters, letting them not die out. Kinda hilarious, the consumerism that this game plays into is helping the villain. But our body, being a synthesizer, breaks down and we faint.
We all kept on pushing him. Put all our faith in him like he was some kind of RPG hero or something.
And so we finally discover Soga's hiding spot, which is pretty amusing. It's at the Radio Kaiken building, which is an incredibly famous, in my favorite anime, Steins Gate. And when you see it first in the game, I'm like, wait, why is it under construction? There should be a big building here. And maybe a satellite that's stuck in it. Because turns out the old building was demolished in 2011 and a new one opened in 2014. So this game's development was like, what's all the construction? Oh, we could actually use that in our game. And put it so that Soga was hiding his evil machine here. Like, you can see how much the devs cared for the accuracy of Akiba. This building didn't exist in that time. Let's make up some new plot for it. And so the final battle where Shizuku says that only non-humans can get close to that energy-sucking machine, but we still head there and we have to fight a lot of enemies, but we aren't alone. As Rin and Toko come, but hey, wait, Toko, why are you here? Aren't you human?
Toko became my familiar.
Oh, this game really does have things for everyone.
That's going a bit too far, don't you think?
And she's now familiar, so we both can enter. Soga says his machine will suck up everyone's energy, all that greed, and it will help save his dying race, which annoys Toko.
Listen closely, okay? Don't cause problems for other people! Seriously, we learned that in freaking elementary school.
And so we two fight him, he powers up, and then we fight him again, and when we win, you know what happens. And so making him naked means he died. And we win. And then a week passes and everything's fine. No one cares.
Supposedly, all the synthesizers who burned up in the sun turned back into humans and were found collapsed on the street, believe it or not. They're in tremendous pain and have to go through rehabilitation before they can rejoin society at large, but, well, that's the price you pay, I suppose.
Oh, they weren't dead. And Shizuku says no one is praying to the Night Eaters. That is why we were dying out. Soga wanted to use the weeps praying to the gacha gods for the good roll to be the new prayer. Shizuku then goes, okay, I need to return home to find a way to save my people. Wait, don't leave! As the game...
So Rin's gone too, huh? I guess we should go back to Mogra and talk about what to do from here on out with everybody. We went through a lot to protect this town, and I'd really like to keep working toward making it an even better place.
So yeah, funnily enough, in every route, you still have to keep picking the right answers for the girl to get their true ending. Like, even though I was on Toko's route, I kept picking the wrong answers, so we didn't fall in love. Every girl has a neutral ending, which just cuts out the final confession scene. Which I guess is nice if you don't want to be forced into a romance, but it also means you miss out on some unlockables. But yeah, this ending doesn't explain much of the plot. It feels so underbaked. Yes, that is where the New Game Plus truly, and I mean truly shines.
In many anime games.
Yeah, so now you can use all those new clothing and weapons you got in New Game Plus. Their levels carry over, plus you can change up all the main characters' looks from the get-go. And for finishing Toko's route, you get some exclusive outfits for her, and you get more if you did Romancer. By the way, there's also this Toy Box mode, which is a PS4 exclusive, where it unlocks every clothing and weapon for you to mess about in the world, but you'll get no achievements, and then you'll have to beat the game if you want to play a normal playthrough afterwards. But yeah, now you can also play as the NPCs with their model, guy or girl, and some DLC like Super Sonico from that series you probably have seen the character design before, and Susanna Hopkins? Oh, an anime I've been meaning to watch, okay. But I'll get into why I played as a guy again, the old Pops of Mogra character to be precise, because yeah, to get the most out of this game, you're gonna be doing this over and over, so it's nice to have many options for you to pick. And you can at least hold down circle to skip through things faster. And yeah, it's the exact same story for now, but on the dialogue choices, you should be picking ones that go for the other girls. How do I know which one's the right one? Well, turns out you got a bonus mode now. In the options where you can turn on hints for this, it will show an icon of that character saying, pick me to woo me, making it easier to get all the ending. Now, the reason I picked the old man was because you have to play as the guy character to unlock this quest where you get cross-dressing, letting the guys wear the girl clothing, which now unlocks even more customization options. But eventually, by the end, my favorite outfit was just picking Susanna and wearing Soga's full getup because his stats were the strongest. Yeah, they're usually a random number, but his one is usually the highest, and every time you replay, you can just keep farming his equipment and then you can synthesize them together to make the number go up. You do need money to synthesize, so you should also be selling the clothing you don't want. And I love how they have this feature where you can just favorite ones and then you can sell all the other ones in one button. It's like they really knew what people who are into customization really want. So yeah, I was going through the exact same story, but now picking Shizuku's options, and up till Zenya's fight, it was all the exact same. But then, instead of Toko and you fighting those people who drink to go Super Saiyan, you do it with Shizuku. But then it's more of the same again, like it just swaps out these scenes.
I have some shopping to do, and I'd like you to accompany me.
Oh, that's new.
Well, see, I'm looking to buy a figurine, and Kaito said you were the expert on that. It's Lily Omi from Striprism, and I want it badly.
Yeah, you can never escape going to Akiba without buying a figurine.
Nothing. Not here either.
Oh, that's a grocery store. You're not going to find it there. And now it starts to diverge, as Shion is seen sneaking away with Shizuku, and Rin thinks, aha, I knew that CEO lady was evil, and so you team up with her.
Hold him down, minion! Hey, where do you think you're looking? Pervert! Aww! You better start praying!
Okay.
And...
You didn't have to tear my clothes off, you know.
Hey, that's just what happens in Akiba, okay?
See, there's a rare... It's something from SP.
Huh? You're not making any sense, sis.
Striprism. The Best Hits Collection CD. She found a copy of it and was going to give it to me in exchange for the medical exam.
Then, yeah, it's the same. You fight the old guy, then Soga appears saying he's Dark Utopia, you faint. But now the game realizes you don't care about Toko. Only Rin comes to the big fight and will hold all of them off while you and Shizuku go to Soga to stop him. And yeah, now Shizuku talks to him. He's saying how he's going to use consumerism as prayers for the Night Eaters. Shizuku says if it's our fate to die out, we shouldn't harm people to change it. And so you fight him again and win. And yay, the town is saved after a week. But yet again, Shizuku leaves despite all that we've been through.
So this is it? After all we've been through.
Whatever power or longevity I gave you in return, it's a poor trade. I made you inhuman. I can't ever ask for forgiveness. Not from the Night Eaters, not from Soga, and certainly not from you. But I want to live in this town. This is where I want to be, with all the people I hold dear. Moreover, I want to try to find another way. Another means by which we Night Eaters can have a future. You are the sun in my sky. But while the light of the sun burns my body, you burn my heart.
And yep, the game ends as before, but now we've unlocked stuff for Shizuku, more NPCs to pick from, and more outfits, and so on. And the game just repeats this. If you want more endings, you do the same process. And I heard at launch, Shizuku's ending was the most canon one, but there are still 2 more endings and a bonus thing. So I changed up my look, made the allies have more amusing walk cycles, and a new telekinesis power. Oh, the power of the mind is so powerful. Also a wrestling move.
So slow.
So now I was on the CEO's route, and when given the options to pick from many choices and you don't find the CEO's icon, you should pick that option where it doesn't give you points with other characters, because you might accidentally lean into their route. It's not that hard, and if you ever fail, you have the backup. Yep, pick the wrong option, you can always just leave Akiba and it saves the game. And you can just start New Game Plus again. I think that's why they added this feature as a way to be like, oh, okay, I'm not liking how this route is turning out, or I'm not happy with my outfit or the character I picked. I can just leave and start again. It's like the Tales of games too, where each time you start a New Game Plus, it's just building up on your stats. You're getting stronger and stronger. And since you'll be seeing the same story a lot for these endings, I was okay being like, okay, I can just leave and restart. It's not too long to skip through it. So this route has us secretly going to help out the CEO, teaming up with her.
Stay right there. The wicked must be punished. It's not over yet. I feel better.
Whoa.
I think it's time for bed. Quite impressive. Quite impressive indeed. The way you stripped my clothes off without a hint of shame or hesitation, c'est magnifique.
So she gives us this bold bull drink, which I think is what those syntheses were using to get that yellow glow, because remember, we are one. And this was that option, if you remember way back, where we could pick the drugs instead of training with Shizuku or Toko. I also did this quest, which was run by the developers of Acquire, a pretty cool game studio you may have heard of. And for winning their tournament, I got the pantomime animation. I really don't know why this game didn't sell more. It even has things for mime lovers too. I know you're out there. Also, yeah, the zombie animation is pretty funny in cutscenes, but I am also guessing if you do speedruns of the game, it is the fastest movement option. yeah, this is gonna end badly. And turns out like 15 hours in, I realized that the bar has a mini game where it's nothing special, you just shoot the guys. Anyway, back to the story.
I don't know how to say this, but could I impose upon you to give me a small amount of your blood?
A vampire in some shape or form. Shion just wants us to return to human form. But while us two are together, Katie appears like a zombie, saying she wants to drag us away for Soga. And we agree because our body does seem to be breaking down. And she takes us to the organization, you know, their secret hideout at Radio Kaiken. Soga says, yeah, okay, wear this rosary, which will stop your Night Eater powers, since it's fighting the Synthester powers. That's kind of why you're dying, lol. And yeah, now since we're working with the bad guys, we can't go back to Mogra. This route fully diverges from the others, but it still has some similarities. You fight Sakaguchi.
Don't hurt me, please. I have a wife and children and a 26-year loan on my mortgage.
And Shion finally admits her reasoning why she just kept appearing at our bar.
What's so absurd about it? I've fallen in love with him. Who are you to tell me that such feelings should have lower priority than my professional ambition?
Oh, this truly is a 2013 anime game. So they learn of Soga's Dark Utopia, but pretend to go along with the plan, and Shion secretly aims to use this machine to fix us up instead. While Soga goes on about how there's some other group, not the Freedom Fighters, that is trying to stop him too, and we should find out who they are. And turns out it's Xenia who is hunting Synthesters. Wait, weren't you dead? You're an otaku again? He runs off, and we never figure out why he was doing this. Yep, the game just did this to make us meet the Freedom Fighters in public, for them to be mad at us, and then we run off. They don't explain why he did that. So now we go to fight Soga, but faint due to the rosary. Shion helps take it off, and we have to fight Soga one-on-one. But by now, you should be very overpowered with weapons and armor that you've kept stacking on the improvements during each New Game Plus. So by yourself, it shouldn't be too hard, as Soga's sword is also pretty broken, having good range on it to break multiple people. The combat can still be annoying though, as no matter how strong you are, the enemies can just decide to insta-dodge your attacks. I really don't know why they can seemingly read all your moves a lot of the time. I shudder to think of what this game is on gamer difficulty. So Shion calls Sakaguchi to come help us, giving his job back while Shion goes on about how her cousin wanted to help people and then he died, so she wants to finish his goal. I don't want to think if the game is trying to hint at something more to this. So Shion says for us to distract the Freedom Fighters while she fixes the machine, and you and the old guy team up, which is also a way for you to obtain the Mogra's team clothing and their weapons and wallpapers if you haven't already.
A real enemy here is old age for me.
I don't wish to fight with you.
If all we have to fight are these girls, you can count on me for support.
Oh yeah, underestimate our gender. See how well that works out for you.
I won't lose to the sexual predator man.
So Shion helps us and says that, yay, we are now human, but she's gonna stay here and blow up the machine where she will die and we'll never see her again.
Got me thinking, maybe it really isn't so bad for a woman my age to have a young lover like you.
I don't know about that, Chief. So after the explosion, 3 months pass, but we return, telling everyone what happened, and Shion is not dead. I don't think anyone really dies in this game, but is now gonna leave Japan forever. But you decide to go with her, and the route ends. Yeah, so this one was weird, making you betray the Freedom Fighters, but I guess it was a way to obtain their clothing, but I don't know, man, you seem pretty close to the group. Like, these bozos were spamming your email when you were just gone for 3 days. I wish I had a group of friends like that. I'm pretty sure they would have helped you if you said, okay, look, I want to be human again. This weird CEO is helping me. She has no ulterior motives, alright. And okay, I'm just picking all the right options with Shion's route because I want to unlock everything. I didn't realize in Toko's route, I would get locked out of clothing if I rejected her, okay? Look, I warned you many times. The writing is not the main focus of this game. Like, that Xenia thing was so out of place, and in the end, you still have the same boss fight, the same Dark Utopia, just now a new ending cutscene with a new character. Anyway, yet again, another time through, this time for Rin. I also decided to see the sister partner attack.
Okay. You okay?
As well as the maid one.
Why don't you come through, Soga?
No! No, 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 no! No! It's payback time!
Maybe that one needs a rework, methinks. Also, amusingly, when you go into the arena, the gates lock, but if your run animation that you equip, you know, the zombie one, is faster than your helper, you can move so much faster that they will get locked out of the arena. This is not how you're meant to help me. And so doing this on normal mode, you get an S rank, and then you get to fight Antoinette, which will get you the new final fight animation. Look, this is a game with an official Hyperdimension Neptunia Body Pillar DLC. What do you expect by this point in the video, okay? So now to get all the endings, you probably won't be shocked to learn the sister has an ending. Well, it's more like a side quest chain, which you can complete it during any run. It will show a scene after the ending, and you have to talk to her to get these specific missions, which are insane, like long fetch quests. Even going to this shop to buy a cake, then you have to fight no one and come back without it breaking. Oh, but if it does, you gotta go all the way back and buy it again. Like, this would be insane if I didn't have the PS5 loading times. Then after all this time, I learned about that there's a mini game with her. Yeah, you know that talking thing I mentioned however minutes ago? I'm not counting. It's actually set out on a grid. Yes, there are people who work this out. Where the options move left or right, this goes up and down randomly. So you have a 50% chance to go in the direction you want 3 times, and then you'll land on the square that will show you your cutscene. You can get some clothing from her and do some anime sister trope things that you knew will be in this game. It's doing all the tropes, I told you. It's just hilarious, like none of this mechanics is shown in the game, and I never would have figured this out if it were not for this single guide online. And a 50% chance is crazy. Like, I was stuck down here 6 times in a row. So on Rin's route,
Nobody asked you to come to my rescue, you know.
Wow. What a bitch.
and this is my 6th run through of the exact same game holding circle. So when I got to this one choice for Rin, I was kind of zoned out and missed the correct option. But that's the cool thing. You can just lose in that fight and then it will make you redo the mission again, and so you can pick the right option. So if you couldn't tell from all the signs, Rin is a...
They don't call you Tsundere anymore. They just say you have BPD. What he is an idiot. A colossal freaking idiot.
But it's still pretty similar to the main storyline, although Rin has now taken a liking to us as the minion of Shizuku.
Not to worry, sis. I'm just gonna saddle him up, take him round the corral, and bring him right back to the stall for you.
That's not very reassuring.
And you go out with her to buy some accessories for an outfit. There's a bit where Rin says Night Eaters now have mind control powers, and she accidentally mind controls Toko, which gives her a new model. Also, by the way, yes, the Katie and Toko model here, you do unlock for you to use in customization as your characters on New Game Plus. Like, you could just do a whole run as you as zombie Katie.
Why? Plain twin?
I know that I'm probably the least standout character among the freedom fighters, but I don't much appreciate being called out on it.
Well, how about if I call the other one dumbass twin? Fair?
What the? Are you just gonna let her insult us like that?
And yep, you find that same thing, Sakaguchi, Soka's evil plan, you faint, and then the lead up to the final battle, where now Shizuku fights them, and you and Rin go off to fight Soga. Also, yeah, he isn't related to them too, but Rin keeps calling him.
Well, well.
Big brother. Big brother.
Maybe she likes the TV show.
Not that I was worried about you or anything. I just, you know, needed you for the fight, that's all. But, thank you. I take it all back.
And yep, thus it ends. Well, you now have gotten all the endings of the game. And what have you learned? The secret to being a weeaboo is finally taking a pilgrimage to Japan, so you can head pat your sister for 3 minutes to get good RNG. You fight off rich CEO ladies, strip men and women, and realize it's all because you just want to be embraced by a quiet vampire girl who loves cosplay. Now let's pay some money for the true ending! So turns out, according to the developers, yes, this is an official press release, they actually planned a Katie route in the game, but ran out of time and budget to implement it. And only due to the game's sales 10 years later, they were able to include it in the director's cut, or DLC that you have to buy to add to your current game. Yep, 10 years later, this is something they truly wanted to put in. and said this ending is a true canon ending of the whole game, which I gotta pay money for now. I know this isn't a AAA studio, but I guess me paying for this, I'm gonna have certain expectations of quality. Maybe some new assets, new sprites, a completely new ending, and
Don't you think?
well, one thing I know for sure is that the rating board is a big liar. Not that I want this in the game. It's just amusing to me to think that some Aussie was sitting there playing this game and saw this and thought, hey, well, at least the game isn't banned here. So you have Katie's route once you download it. Shocking to everyone watching. Doesn't change anything of the story at the start. Yep, it's the exact same because it was meant to be in the initial game. Like you were meant to have options where you could pick for Katie to get her ending, so it's the same choices. But now those options where you didn't pick the other characters has Katie's icon on it, but everything else is the exact same. So for this final go around, I'm gonna update a lot of the models, complete character swaps to freshen things up. And what? You've never seen a weeb levitate in Akiba? Look, being a single anime fan gives you special powers, okay? But yeah, I got some stuff not from the DLC, and also I forgot to mention in the bonus option mode in New Game Plus, you can also get these things to unlock that change up how every character looks in the game. Oh yeah, you weren't done with the customization. You can make everyone giant, tiny, or Funko Pop, or even it's like those PS1 type cheat codes that you don't ever see games do now, and it's really cool that you can just unlock things. I think there was even one that makes everyone's voices high pitched that I never got. Anyway, yeah, what I said, the funniest thing is now what you paid for. Remember those certain dialogue choices where you didn't have to pick anyone? Now they just slap Katie's icon on it and will give you points for her. Yep. All that's changed in the first third of the game, that's it. As now you just skip on through, then you pick her options, and then skip some more. It's the exact same. But yeah, this was how it was meant to be. And the one saving grace of proof they have of this is when Soga met you for the first time. He mentioned both of you were special characters, but Katie in all those routes was never shown as why. So now this route is going to explain that decision. But yeah, if you play the game 2/3 now, it's the exact same. Up until you defeat Xenia in the arena, now you got a shopping trip with Katie.
It was a while ago now, but I keep thinking about what Mr. Soga said. He said we're different somehow. I know you're a synthester and a familiar, but he was talking to both of us.
Oh, now they bring it up. And yeah, it's incredibly obvious to me that they did bring the voice actors back after 10 years. And probably don't sound the exact same as before.
Now's not the time for jokes.
I must awaken the Ancient One that slumbers within you.
Ancient One? What is that? What do you mean within me?
It is a being akin to we Night Eaters. I sensed its presence when we crossed paths earlier. I only know our traditions, so I can offer no insight as to why it sleeps inside of you. I've just confirmed it. With this power in hand, all my plans shall come to fruition.
Stop! Please, let me go!
What he did do was awaken something in Katie. As Sakaguchi spies on this, then we literally see a magazine on the ground and let Katie get kidnapped. How are we this stupid? And so we save her from the Radio Kaiken building and bring her back. But something has changed.
Why? Why are we so oppressed?
And so you just go about the main story. Wait, what am I meant to do? Yeah, for the first time ever, the game doesn't tell you what to do. It just says go about your day. And what you're meant to do, I think they assumed everyone would have done every single side quest, is do the brand new side quest for the DLC. Yeah, your story locked for the first time, but the side quest. And also the DLC weirdly made things more buggy in the game. Like after fights, normally you get a few seconds to run around and pick up clothing and weapons that you ripped off, you know, collect your spoils. Now it takes so long for the fight to even end when there are no more enemies. I don't know what they did. So Sakaguchi comes in going, Katie, you have the Mahinen in you.
Mahinen? Are you talking about the fairies that live in the forests of Finland? They are nothing more than a tale for children.
In Finland, yes, they are nothing more than a myth. But the traditions of the Night Eaters tell a different story. I've had a little peek at the book Soga stole from his village, and it seems that the Night Eaters and Mahinen shared some history in the distant past.
Yeah, there be fairies inside, Katie. And they want to kill humans for locking them all away or something. So he proposes to save Katie, and that research he's gonna do, he will use for clout. So this is yet another route where for some reason you cannot tell your group what you are doing in secret with a girl. This one seems even more stupid because you're not working with a sus CEO. You're literally with a longtime friend, a worker of Mogra, and you cannot tell the whole group? Like, oh, by the way, she's got some evil fairy in her. BRB is going to cleanse her as Katie seems to corrupt others.
Why are we so oppressed? We are but travelers in search of a peaceful land in which to make our home. Why? Human filth.
But then we get a letter from Xenia? I guess he's changed his ways and come back to life and is now working with Sakaguchi. And it's a weird dynamic. They try that rival trope who, will turn good with you and then just keeps making jokes because, oh, he's your rival. And I'm like, we were rivals? Since when? Marvel rivals? And because of this, Mogra gets sus of you.
Did that girl give you a good tongue lashing? How humiliating. Well, don't hold back.
That's going a bit too far, don't you think?
And you're doing all this to distract Soga while Sakaguchi works on the machine to fix up Katie.
Okay, so we have some time to kill. You got any ideas? Kati's not even awake to appreciate your usual nonsense. I had no idea there was a place like that in Akihabara.
Bro, I killed you like 6 times there already. So it was a trap, but then we go back and now we get a date with Katie where she talks about how much she loves Lace Japan. And on the way back, we literally overhear Soga like 2 meters on the side trying to convince Shizuku for her to join him. And then...
I'll be by your side.
Yeah, I paid real money for this. I'm telling you, I had no glitches at all in the base game. But then Soga figures us out.
I love Akihabara, and you'll see what an otaku like me is capable of.
So, you've accepted your fate.
I'm an otaku. I draw spirit energy from otaku culture itself. I love it, and it loves me. I won't surrender in front of my beloved rival. No, my beloved friend.
And so we fight Shizuku and Soga, but don't let them die, giving their clothes back because we want an ending where no one dies. That is what people waited 10 years for, the good ending. And so the procedure is complete on Katie. But then...
What's happening to her?
She's possessed by something. This power. It's similar to a Night Eater, but... No.
Free at last. What a feeling. After an eternity in darkness, I have returned to this world. This pitiful world filled with loathsome humans.
And she kills Xenia, I think. You can never tell with these games. He's just gonna keep coming back. And she explodes the machine, trying to release all this evil energy to make everyone evil. And so Shion worked with Soga to fix the machine while we gotta save Katie. Well, we do the usual and wait really a long time for the game to realize that I won, as the fairy leaves Katie and then instead takes over Shizuku, who is weak because she keeps blaming herself for ruining our human life.
Killing you will shatter my new vessel's heart, boy.
And so all of Moga come out to fight, and this was actually challenging because your team sucks, so now you gotta fight a lot of strong enemies at once. And so Shizuku is free, but the Mahinin is good now. And Shizuku goes, oh, okay, come back inside me. And then says how the Mahinin were turned into Finnish people, their ancestors. They turned into humans due to the prayers. So they stopped being evil vampires because of prayer? Yes, as always, Catholicism is the way to kill vampires. So Shizuku says she figured out how to save the Night Eaters, and Soga teleports away. Oh, no, turns out he died then. Yep, game says he died, with his clothing on and all. And we learn he was never a Night Eater, just a familiar of the chief who forgets his memories in the time since. He was always a human. Oh. Cool. And so Shion with the machine turns all the synthesizers back into humans, including Xenia. I guess he can die permanently now.
My wallet is empty, but my heart is full. Starting tomorrow, I'll be feasting on 80 yen sour plum rice balls for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
As Shion goes back to being the CEO, Sakaguchi, the president of the pharmaceutical company, Azrin and Shizuku return home to say, yeah, the Mahinin became human because of prayer. So maybe we too can lose our culture and not die out if we pray. Oh, okay, sure. And then Katie is like, my mother is sick. I gotta return to Finland. Bye, my beloved. And so she leaves. Toko cries for some reason. And then
3 years have passed.
we all look
From
the
each
same.
other's
And the sister does the first sus dialogue of her and the brother in the entire game. Yeah, like they were skirting around this anime trope a lot, but I was thankful they never outright said it. But oh great, the DLC just blows that out of the water. And then Katie returns from Finland, where she now has a visa and can enjoy her Japanese BF forever. So the moral of the story is now. Pay $11 and realize the answers to all your life's problems is a blonde girl from Europe. Truly, this is the Akiba's trip.
So this is Kitchen Jew. I've heard of this place for years, but never tried it.
It's amusing to go back to a game you bought for a very obvious one reason, but then you return to it 10 years later with a different reason and a different mindset, and you're still utterly impressed at how many things it actually accomplished at the sake of other things that probably should have had a bit more time in the oven. Like you have this game, which is obviously a fan service game, but then you're like, wait, you mean fan service for everyone? Oh, what you actually are a dress-up game where you can dress up in so many options? Oh, what's that? You modeled the real-life Akihabara as close as possible to 2013? Oh, your humor is actually referencing all those anime most millennials watched, and you know this isn't a serious game, so you're playing into that trope? It's like, okay, I've played a few fan service games in my time, and this is probably one of the ones that go the extra mile to be an actual game surrounding it. Oh, sure. Let's give a total legit reason why we're making everyone lose clothing. Oh yeah, we also think Akiba's a pretty neat city. You should come visit. Tourism. Let's make this as appealing as possible to people who like the anime culture. The fact that I can see there's so much care with things like the voice acting. Firstly, with every model they use, they will have voice acting for the fight. Yeah, you know how you can change your main character and he's usually Shinji's voice? Yeah, if you play as Pops here, with the player character, he has lines in the fight.
Okay, it's time.
Then the DLC character that I used, she has lines in the fight. You using Toko as their villain's model, she has lines when you fight her. Then you have things like, okay, you can tell that they didn't get the dub to do things like sometimes in the fights they will say Japanese words, or like when you talk to the sister, she will say mission.
Mission.
Which is clearly not the English voice actor. Reminder, this is how she sounds like.
That woman is hiding something.
But then, she will say this when she speaks to you.
Brother.
Now keep in mind when you swap the character to a girl model, the game assumes you're still the guy because, you know, that's a lot of dialogue they have to change, there's a lot of words that is voice, that's a lot of work to do just for this switch. However, when you see the sister now, she will say this, despite the text, saying brother.
Sister.
Like, okay, that's pretty cool. It also is a game, where I think because they focused on it so much being a game, they left out that story aspect, where the story does not feel as good as it could be, where every harem route really doesn't change much of the actual story. Do a scene with the girl, then most of them resort you to fighting Soga to stop his dark utopia, and the only different ones is either you side with the CEO, or then you have waited 10 years and you pay for DLC, which does the same thing, betraying the group, and then doesn't give you that much closure. Like, if this is the true canon ending, what, you mean if I wanted to be a weeb with Shizuku, that ending is fake now? I guess that is the true nature of harem endings. If you don't pick the true girl, you will have to accept that your ending is not the canon one. Which, okay, maybe they are just trying to play into that harem game trope. But you can see a lot of care was put into this game. The devs truly cared about the source material, and if you're someone who is in this scene or a recovering addict like me, you will find joy in all these nostalgic references. Also, one random thing, you know that Twitter thing I mentioned? They keep updating the thread over time, and it was pretty amusing reading the same users arguing with each other and evolve through the game, talking about what's happening in the world. But I wish it actually had a payoff, like, you know, when the things are going bad, I wanted them to all band together and be like, oh, okay, let's protect each other. I don't know, I think cringy stuff like that would have suited this game pretty well. But for 2013, a game on the Vita, it does so many things right. and I can't help but wish they do this formula again in modern times to see how Akihabara is. You know, maybe a story of how it's lost its roots. They try to fix it, and more modern weeb references. I know they're gonna put a lot of references to VTubers.
You want some tea?
Like, this game fits into such a tiny niche where I could easily see it being a long-running franchise building on that, because it's the only game that does this. And while I adore the hilarious low-poly models pulling off these JoJo moves, it would be cool thinking, oh, what if they had a more modern 3D anime art style? A more in-depth Akihabara where maybe you could go into every single shop. I mean, there's not that many, the world is pretty small. Or you could take a trip to Ikebukuro and have a rival town that you're having to fight, you know? And do all these wacky modern anime jokes to show how things have changed in the scene in those 10 years. I really think this formula can be explored further by Acquire. This is an amazing first step in the GTA anime weeb reference fan game genre, which no one else is doing. And I can honestly say, because this game is not perfect, it is a guilty pleasure for me. Not because of the fan service, but just how much it gets right of the otaku culture. Reminding me of that time when I used to watch all this anime at 4 AM during uni. A thing I have long grown out of, but it's just amusing looking back at a simpler, worry-free time. And yes, this game is not to be taken seriously. It's incredibly tropey and dated, but they know what they were doing, and they seem to have really had some fun with it. On the other hand, I had to listen to Yosuke's voice actor yell this line for a few hours in the game, so I hate it.
No, it's
And that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this nostalgic look at a genre we're never going to see nowadays, at least in a fully dubbed game like this. I pray this video somehow stays monetized, but that's not a too big worry because I have a Patreon too, where you can support the channel like these fantastic people. You can also check out my social media in the description, and until then, I shall see you all on the next video.